Let's get this thing going.
Welcome to the fastest 2 hours in radio.
Rules in action. It's up to each one of us to know the rules and follow them. Follow.
All systems go.
The Morning Edge.
With Fox 2's Vic Faust, Chris Knight, Angela Sharp, and Eric Johnson.
The Morning Edge starts now.
And we say good morning, everybody. 8:02 is our time. It's Tuesday, May 3rd. Hope everybody's rocking and rolling. Thanks for joining us today. Oh, we always talk about what it may look like outside with the weather. Throughout the Missouri area, it is rainy, it is gray, but the weekend looks good. Saturday and Sunday looks sunny. Chris Knight's here, Angela Sharp. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. Welcome to the show, everybody. Okay, we are jam-packed. I know we're just now starting to get people into the show. Chris, did you stay up? I know Angela didn't. I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess that Angela did not stay up for the entire Blues game.
I had to watch Perron's Hattie.
Okay, so you saw that.
Yeah.
That was beginning of the third period. Is that when he scored the hat trick?
I think that's
Second,
right?
yeah, I think it was.
So then you saw his hat trick, and then
And then I was like, all right.
Chris,
good.
did you stay up?
Oh, yeah, of course.
I
Uso is the man. I'm just saying.
I stayed up
did
to
you
watch
see him?
because I knew he'd be first star. So in the third period, I was like, I'll go to bed. I was like, no, he's gonna be first star. They're gonna talk. I just want to hear him talk. He looks like a 13-year-old little boy,
He sure does.
and he looks like he looked like the old proverbial deer in the headlights look. He's like, they said, you're the first Blues goalie ever to get a hat or a shutout in your first play out. And he's like, oh really? Okay. And he's like, oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah, okay. I was like, damn, this guy, who would have ever thought that the Blues would have a goalie that would make you forget about Jordan Bennington?
It's true. I mean, and they needed it. I mean, Jordan's been going through the things goalies go through, right? So he's been doing that drama right now. So it's nice to have somebody there to, be the brick wall.
And the good thing is that Bennington picked up his game before the end of the season. And you got him ready to go. I would feel totally comfortable if Bennington had to go in after what we saw from Bennington towards the end of the year. But my gosh.
I don't know that he's going to get that chance.
I know. Let's hope he doesn't get that chance. That means things are going great. Because I got home from work and my son goes, Dad, he's like, I know the Blues look good. He's like, but I'm telling you, Minnesota is out skating us. I've watched it. And he's like, I think they've been the better team, but they've done the stupid things and our penalty, because the Blues are awesome. Prawn 3 goals on 3 penalties, 3 power plays. He's like, Dad, just Huso is so amazing. He's shut the door.
He's amazing. He's absolutely amazing.
this-
The Wild had six power plays and did not score on one of them. They ranked like 18th in the NHL.
Yeah, the Blues were not smart in their playing, but also coming out this morning, their captain may be missing games 2 and 3 late in the game, and their captain only had like 20 career penalty minutes. And he hit a Blue, Buchnevich, at the end of a play. He cleared the puck, made a nice play, and then the play was over, and then he takes his stick and slams it into the back of Buchnevich's legs on the ice. The league is reviewing it now. He's going to be suspended at least 1 game. That's their captain.
That's a problem for them.
So if the Blues, if he doesn't play game 2, I don't know how Minnesota has a shot because he's that good. And I don't, I'm getting ahead of myself. But if the Blues go up 2, if the Blues go up 2-0 there, Chris knows what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
And Chris, you're going to the game on Friday?
Oh yeah.
Going to the game on
Gotta
Friday.
go to the game. Friday, Sunday. Yeah, we're going to the game. You
Boy.
going?
I will be there Friday, which is why
You're gonna go Friday?
I have to go with
Oh, so you're not going to hang with us. You're going to go.
I'll
with
come
your
by and say
friend.
hi to you guys.
Oh,
But
that's
on
nice
Reed
of
Lowe's
you.
show, they gave away the tickets for the fan to come hang out with Reed, Nate, and myself. So I'm going to be
That's cool.
with them.
Where are you guys going to be?
We are in what it used to be the old Sevens Club. So
Oh,
not the
okay.
McBride Suite, but
Yeah.
the one next to it.
What's it called? The old Sevens Club?
Well, it used to be the Sevens Suite, but they have painted over all the sevens.
You and I walked over there last time we were at the game.
They used to have a like
That's where
a painting of all the guys who wore number 7 on the Blues.
Oh.
But when they changed the arena and they made it all they kind of got rid of all the blue and yellow, they painted over that part of it. So I don't know what else to call it other than the old 7 suite. So
You remember that from years ago?
yeah, it was over by John's Suite,
Oh, yeah.
the 7 Suite.
Yeah, okay. I get it. So anyway, we are jam-packed today. I told Chris last night this might be one of the most action-packed shows we have, and we have a lot. Right out of the gate, we're going to take a break at 8:15. Don't go anywhere. Share the show. Eric Schmidt, Missouri Attorney General, joining us. Also,
Can't wait.
Missouri Senate candidate, U.S. Senate candidate from Missouri. He is going to talk about why he's the best candidate for the job. We told you we'd catch up with everybody. We had Greitens last week. But also, I guarantee we're going to get his opinion on leaked opinions from Supreme Court Justice Alito in regards to appear to be a leaning of the Supreme Court, maybe 5-4, ready to overturn Roe v. Wade. We'll get his opinion on that. Also, coming up at 8:40, Brad Young jumps in to talk about how this was leaked, maybe why it was leaked. Nothing is ever done just by accident, ever. We've realized ever.
I was going to say, don't you think it's like a rogue assistant or something?
Well, if
would-
I promise you this much, we'll ask Brad. I promise you, 100%, you don't leak that unless you don't agree with it. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was a clerk. Those are the people that happens in St. Louis. It happens around the country.
you would just think they would have tighter laws on leaks when you get up to the Supreme Court, right?
Because now, in my humble opinion, the Supreme Court now has to give their opinion. You just can't sit and wait now because it just seems as if this was done to create controversy, to create a bunch of mass confusion, mass anger, and lead up maybe to hopefully change a judge's decision.
Okay, so I could see that. You
'Cause
leak
this opinion
so
wasn't
that
sup-
people get mad.
This
and
wasn't
then-
supposed to happen until the summer.
Okay, so you leak this, people get mad, and then you're like, okay, I won't do it because
Start
everybody
more
hates it.
controversy. None of this stuff is done by accident. So Brad will jump in at 8:40. Then at 9 o'clock, we're going to talk with Brian Mingus. We did a story last night, Andy Banker on Fox 2. You can check it out on fox2now.com. Wow. He owned 3 properties with his group downtown at the Landing. I did a story on him and his properties right before COVID. They were selling out, people living on the Landing in these high-rise condominiums.
Were they nice?
Oh my gosh, it was so nice. Blew me away. We did a story. We showed video of them. Look, this is the rebirth of the Landing. Who would have ever thought? And it was more younger people that were paying really good money to live on the Landing with great views. And there was a lot of safety and security within the Landing. They had all the security set up. Well, now there's been a homeless encampment that's been sitting there that the city's not doing anything with. They're not doing a damn thing with it. So
Yeah, but why?
Brian sent pictures into us at Fox of people urinating on on the properties, defecating, trying to break in, smashing windows, and the city won't move them. Brian is going to, and now business owners are going, okay, people are moving out. Business owners don't want to be done. We're just trying to help the city. This is Brian's perspective. The city did respond yesterday and said, well, they don't have any plans to do anything with that homeless encampment. They've done something with another one in the city, but not this one. Brian Mingus joins us at 9 o'clock. You won't want to miss that either in regards to what's happening in the city. And he'll give you the stats. That's great for Eric because there are no one wants to live downtown. People were going downtown to live, and it blew my mind, and they were at near capacity.
Yeah, but they're not no more.
So anyway, Todd says, so you're saying Sundeckers is coming back.
That's right.
Do you remember what Sundeckers was, Angela?
I remember driving down past the Landing, but Sundeckers wasn't open.
It was my first it was my first door job that I worked in.
You were a
the city.
bouncer?
I bounced at Sundeckers.
You were a bouncer?
Uh-huh.
Were you intimidating looking?
I would talk people into good situations.
Oh, okay. Okay. I can't envision you being super intimidating. I mean, you're a big guy, but you're not intimidating looking.
What? Yes.
You're scary.
Come on.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You and I've had it out.
Yes, but I haven't ever once been scared of you.
But you're not scared of anybody.
Well, fair. Fair.
Yeah, so I worked. I wasn't 21, but they allowed me when they found out.
Football, right?
Yeah.
They were like, oh, okay, you play football, so you can.
Kinda.
Because did you ever have to physically bounce someone?
No.
Okay.
No, grabbed one guy one time. Was in a fight, just kind of around his neck and kind of drug him out, but he was cool. You never know what you're going to get. But then when the owner did find out, he's like, wait a sec, you play football at Mizzou. You're a sophomore. You're not 21.
And that was the end for you?
He allowed me to work the next night, and that was it. That was it for the weekend.
But you liked the job, it sounds like.
I did during college. Are you kidding me?
Sounds like I was going to say, it sounds like you liked it.
And he paid me extra in cash to clean the bathroom.
You're kidding.
No. It was everybody. If you clean the bathroom, you got a lot of extra money. I think it was like $50 or something. Because nobody ever wants to clean a bathroom.
I was going to say, I can't imagine a bar bathroom sounds even worse than like a regular old bathroom.
So anyway, big show. Share it. Facebook 100.7 The Viper. Share us. Also, you can go ahead on. You can stream us at viperrocks.com. We're on YouTube. Hey, did you get Eric in here early again today?
I mean,
it's only 8:12 and
he's
Eric.
technically here, but he's not in this room.
I told you he's riled up.
People are talking about Mississippi Nights, all kinds of stuff in here. Also, we've got another story that we'll get into today. Webster Grove School District sent out a survey. We did this story last night on Fox 2. To their students, high school and middle school, asking their sexual preference,
you send it to us in the group. There's a group message that everybody on the show is in, and somebody sent this to us in the group, and I, went to Webster, so I'm not shocked by this at all. This is very par for the course.
Well, we're going to talk with the group tomorrow. They've sued the Webster School District. They say it's illegal to start asking for personal information of students.
Oh, now that's an interesting take.
I mean,
okay.
it was asking their political preference, their sexual identity. And it's like,
What the hell's wrong with these people, man?
I blew my mind.
I mean, my God.
Whether you agree or disagree, I'm just glad we're shining a light on it at Fox 2. And we're doing these stories because they are talk about stories. Blew my mind. We got to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. It's a quicker one. Big show today. Eric Schmidt, Brad Young, Brian Mingus come all these topics. Plus, that 9 o'clock hour, we'll get into the Webster situation before we talk to the group that is suing the Webster School District in the 9 o'clock hour. You can't make. Plus, we'll talk about the Blues if you want to, too. Cardinals won yesterday. My gosh, there's so much going on.
There's a whole lot happened.
And it's all good.
In the last 24 hours.
Eric Johnson is here. Chris Knight, Angela Sharp.
He's writing a note.
I'm Vic Faust of X2. No, wait, is you sure he's not writing a check?
Oh, maybe he is writing a check.
Does it say 1,000 on it?
I thought it was a note, but it could be a check.
Is he writing a check over there?
It says 1,000 stories to accomplish today. There's so much going on.
Back with more of The Edge right after this.
The Edge Morning Show.
I never miss it.
Edge Morning Traffic. A bit of a rough morning commute out there. Let's start in St. Charles County, where it's still fairly quiet. The only slow spots are 6440 eastbound, that's headed out of Lake St. Louis, and then 70 eastbound approaching O'Fallon. In St. Louis County, some interstates are a mess. 170 southbound is jammed back to Olive from an accident at the approach to 6440. Only one southbound lane is getting by. And then 270 northbound jammed up from I-55 up to Manchester. 55 slow moving in the work zone. And then a tractor trailer off the interstate 255 westbound at Coke Road. I'm Fox 2's Molly Rose. That's your Edge Morning Traffic.
Look, staying healthy isn't easy. Watching your diet, hitting the gym, avoiding stress. But a good night's rest helps boost your overall health and wellness. And it couldn't be easier. The new Sleep Number 360 Smart Bed is the only bed that effortlessly adjusts and responds to both of you. The result? You wake up ready for anything. Proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep. Don't miss our weekend special. The new Queen Sleep Number 360 C2 Smart Bed is only $8.99, plus special financing. Ends Monday. Special financing subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
Kelley Blue Book is the one-stop shop for pricing, fixing, selling, and instant cash offering. Instant Cash Offer is exactly what it sounds like. An official offer to buy or trade your car. Just enter your VIN or license plate, answer a few questions about your car's history, and what kind of condition it's in. In minutes, you'll receive an offer to sell or trade your car that you can be sure is fair. Then choose a dealer to purchase your car and schedule a time to meet. For all of the its, KBB.com.
Hi, this is Conrad Bellman at Bellman's Carnection in St. Peters. Right now, we're buying any pre-owned vehicles. At Bellman Carnection, we will take anything on trade: farm, house, truck, cars, and SUVs. Bring into a Bellman pre-owned car, truck, SUV, or van today. The inventory is always fresh, so hurry in before someone else buys the one you want. Bellman's Carnection in St. Peters at Highway 70 and 370, where you will never pay the max. Online at carnection.com.
This is a metaphor for your business's journey. Sometimes it feels like you're going 100 miles an hour, barely keeping up. But to cruise through challenges, you need someone who's right there with you. That's what Dell Technologies advisors do. They have the Windows PCs and tech advice you need to get past whatever's in front of you and get where you want to go. Call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL. A start to a simpler experience with Windows 11 Pro.
Hey, Brian Dawson here. Folks, Brian Dawson Roofing and Construction is a roofing company dedicated to excellence and quality. We are very familiar with working with insurance as well as uninsured roofing needs. We do room additions, small roofs, big roofs, steep roofs, flat roofs, residential and commercial. So hey, if you have any roofing or construction needs, call me, Brian Dawson.
Learn more by visiting BrianDawsonRoofing.com or call 636-465-9465. That's 465-9465.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Get Upside, the free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app?
Yes, up to 25 cents a gallon. Cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Some months I make $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code FALL for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents a gallon on your next fill-up. You can cash out anytime to PayPal or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code FALL for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FALL.
Now, back to the Edge Morning Show.
All right, we are back on the Edge. 100.7 The Viper on Facebook. Share the show. You can stream us as well at ViperRocks.com. Eric Johnson's in the studio. Chris Knight, Angela Sharp, and Vic Faust of Fox 2. Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmidt joining us here in just a moment or so. I think I know what Eric is doing. Unfortunately, he's not writing a $1,000 check to me. I think he's writing down all of his thoughts because today he has to, because there is so much going on.
Exactly.
You're blown away by all the topics, aren't you?
Yeah. I can usually focus on one, maybe 1.5 things at any given moment. And today you just have to know what you're talking about and all the issues that are going on for Eric Schmidt, because he literally touches every single thing that's in the news today. There's nothing that we're going to talk about today that Eric Schmidt won't have a role in either solving or talking about. We can talk about the Webster Grove School District. He would have something to say about that. We can talk about Tent City in St. Louis, Missouri, that is destroying property values as we speak. He can talk about that. Roe versus Wade. He's going to be a senator, or he's trying to be a senator in the United States.
Well, that's the first question I was going to ask him.
I mean, there's all kinds.
And he's joining us to talk about what happened, like his TV interview, why he should be the Senate candidate, just like we talked with Crichton's last week. But in the midst of him coming on today, look at everything that happened just yesterday.
How can you even get to that?
Yeah,
I don't even know how you get to that.
They all intertwine.
Okay, good luck.
You do.
I'll just sit here and listen then. It's crazy, man.
Good luck.
I mean, it's absolutely
It is
nuts.
a bizarre time in life.
I mean, he's going to have to come out. The first question he's going to have to answer, running for Senate, are you going to make sure that Roe versus Wade gets its day in Congress? Will it be legalized, or do you just let it die on the vine? Because if Roe versus Wade, if according to this opinion, it will be sent back to the states, and in theory, Angela, Missouri will outlaw abortion in theory because this is a conservative state. So you won't have abortion anymore in Missouri anyway. You'll have to move. So the dynamic is crazy this morning. I don't even know if I can do it. I might have to just sit here and literally drink coffee.
Did you stay up and watch the Blues last night?
The Blues? I was going between MSNBC, CNN, and Fox on the whole Roe versus Wade thing because Rachel Maddow.
It came out at the same time.
The contact sport was Roe versus Wade last night. It was not the Blues.
You're crazy. You've lost your mind.
I don't care about hockey.
Were you going to tell us the difference between those stations and what they were saying on Roe versus Wade?
It was unbelievable.
What do you mean you don't care about the Blues, fool?
Not now. Not now. The hockey is like basketball to me. Basketball, if you go to a basketball game, the only true magic in the game happens in the last 3 minutes, and then you get really excited. Other than that, you're just kind of going to the concessions to get beer. But the thing about Fox versus MSNBC, last night the conversation on Fox was more about outing the guy that leaked this thing. That was the important part. If you listen to MSNBC last night, it was about waking up the base and see conservatives are going to do this across the board if you don't vote for them. As I was watching Rachel Maddow last night, I was figuring it out. This was so coordinated.
Of course it was.
This was not one 24-year-old kid paralegal that's a clerk at the Supreme Court. This was a whole system that said, on this minute of this day, you will release this document to Politico. And Politico is supposed to be kind of in the middle publication, but they should not have published this thing. So to me, watching a hockey game, I mean, seriously? No. Even if it was the Super Bowl, I would have been going back and forth between this story and the Super Bowl. It was unbelievable last night. So anyway, I cannot wait to talk to Eric Schmidt. I cannot
believe you just said you don't care about Blues hockey.
I don't care about Blues hockey
God.
right now. Okay? Maybe my leanings have gone. I think politics is way more of a
You better care
contact
about
sport
it on Sunday.
Hey, and I can tell Cedric, I see your message. Why are you watching Rachel Maddow? I encourage everybody to watch all of the stations.
You have to.
On a topic like this, just so you can hear what maybe an opposing viewpoint may say, so you can be educated enough to speak to people, because I find that is a problem with a lot of people. They just want to only hear and talk about their own mind. They don't keep an open mind for dialogue. With that being said, we welcome in, friend of the show, Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmidt, who's busy all the time. Eric Johnson, that is. We got about 10 minutes with Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmidt. Eric Schmidt, we were inviting you in to talk about running for U.S. Senate. In the midst of that, Roe v. Wade comes down right now. I can only imagine how busy you may be this morning.
Yeah, it's a leak, so it's not the opinion has not been, it's not a formal opinion yet. It's been leaked, but it certainly would indicate that the court is willing to move forward to overturn Roe v. Wade, which I've advocated for in briefs, not just in our cases, but in the Dobbs case, which they're considering right now. But the leak itself, it's unprecedented. It's never happened before. So it just goes to show you the left is just, the tide is turning here, and they are willing to destroy any and every institution. There's no norm, there's no rule, there's no law that is important enough for them just to tear down for outcomes. That's who they are. And so it really is amazing. I mean, it's kind of, it'll get lost a little bit but for people who follow the Supreme Court, there's literally in modern American history, this has never happened.
Ever.
So it's ever. But it's remarkable, but they're playing for keeps. Like, they want to pack the court and add states to the union and federalize the elections and willing to undermine the Supreme Court process like this. So It's not that surprising, but it is unprecedented.
There's so many topics we got to get to in the next 8.5 minutes.
Yes.
That I just feel like
Then go in,
all
jump
right,
in.
I feel like this. It's like the Democrats have 8 months, and they have to get as much stuff as they can get accomplished, and then they have this wave that's coming behind them, which is going to be the red wave that's going to take over, hopefully, the Senate and the House at the same time. Do you feel like you are in a race right now to the finish line to see if you can impede them as much as possible to get across everything that all these socialist ideas that they're trying to get across, including this leak from this Roe versus from the Supreme Court right now? Do you feel like it's a race to the finish line right now to see how much stuff they can actually get accomplished?
I do, and I said this when we won the OSHA vaccine mandate case. Somebody asked me, "You think they'll change their tactics?" And I said, "No. I mean, they've got their pedal to the metal because they know the reckoning is coming in November. So they're going to do as much as they can, as fast as they can, and go as far as they can, and we have to be there to stop them." And, for my part as Attorney General, I've been leading that charge. I was at the Supreme Court last week on the Remain in Mexico policy. On immigration, we won a temporary victory, at least for now, on the Title 42 issue, which would bring a tsunami of illegal immigration. It's hard to overstate. If you don't have those two things in place, you're going to have a wave of illegal immigration like we've never seen before. So we're pushing back on that. On these energy issues, I mean, they want the Green New Deal without anybody ever to vote on it. So yeah, we're trying to hold the line here, push back until the reinforcements come. And by the way, that's why I'm running for the Senate.
Oh yeah.
They want to change this country. We need proven conservative fighters who are going to be unintimidated and go up there and fight for Missouri and fight for our values.
Eric, what separates you from the other candidates in this race?
I think a lot of the other candidates, I mean, look, if you want a different result, you can't keep sending the same people to Washington, D.C. I mean, it's just, and I'm never going to quit on the state. Never. And you need a proven conservative fighter, somebody who's actually has a record of accomplishment, who's done things, who's fought these important fights and won. A lot of the other folks are just going to talk about stuff, and they might give a funny interview or they might say something interesting along the way, but they have no record of really fighting and winning. That's my record, and I'm going to take that same spirit to the Senate.
Okay. So we have people like Greitens you're running against and other people, and there's this thing called Rhino versus Patriot or whatever it is, and there seems to be like this real weird chasm between everything. What makes you not a Rhino, and what makes you not a Trumper or whatever they want to call it on the right? How do you run?
Or a Trumper?
Yeah, or a Trumper. How do you run right now and say I'm not a Mitch McConnell Rhino and I'm not a Trump? I'm just. Look at my resume. How do you run like that for the Senate?
Well, I think all you have to do is, these folks who try to cast people in a certain light are really projecting, right? They're projecting their own deficiencies as candidates. My record's very clear. I defended the America First agenda when President Trump was in office as Attorney General. I went up against the Democrat AGs and defended border security and was the first statewide elected official in the country to come out in favor of President Trump's tax cuts. We defended energy independence. And now I'm taking a blowtorch to the Biden agenda. I've got an A-plus rating from the NRA. I've been endorsed by Ted Cruz. I'm 100% pro-life. The Senate Conservative Fund, which is sort of the stamp for people like Mike Lee and Rand Paul, they've endorsed me. The National Association of Gun Rights has endorsed me. You name the issue. That's my record. This conservative, again, not just talk or throwing out an acronym or, whatever a lot of these other candidates do. You look at the record. Look at the record. And what I'm doing as Attorney General, the fights that I've engaged in, the fights that we're winning. Who was standing up for our kids, during COVID? That was me. These other folks are just, again, they'll talk about this stuff now, but I was country when country wasn't cool, so I'll keep fighting the good fight.
So let me ask you, when I think of Eric Schmidt, I think of America's attorney as far as the border goes. You are on it every single day with other attorneys, obviously. There's the projection is 16,000 coming over the border as opposed to the 7,000 that are coming across every day. If you get to the Senate, and I asked Greitens this last week, what are the tactics that you can do to overcome what Biden is doing by not protecting the border? What can the Senate and the House of Representatives actually do to stop the flow?
Well, we can finish President Trump's border wall. That's number one. Number two, legislatively, let's get the Remain in Mexico policy moving forward. Let's make sure Mexico's the waiting room for people seeking asylum. 9 out of 10 of those are bogus. But once they're in the United States, you never see them again. And, Title 42 is an effective way. 50% of all the expulsions are because of Title 42. So there's some concrete things you can do. We need to absolutely dismantle the administrative state. It's gotten way too powerful. That's what I've been doing as Attorney General, and again, take that to the Senate. But to your point on illegal immigration, if you extrapolate out, actually, if they're successful, if Biden's successful in dismantling President Trump's border security measures, at the end of his 4 years, there'll be 30 million people that have come here illegally. Okay, this is on purpose. That is the state of Texas. That is 5 Missouris. Okay, it's unbelievable. And so you better have people who are, committed to fight, who are never going to quit, right? I mean, never going to quit on this day. You better have the right people up there fighting for Missouri. That's my record, and I'm never going to back down. I don't care what the Post-Dispatch says. I don't care how many columns Tony Messenger writes. I don't care about the Kansas City Star. I don't care about the left coming unglued because I filed another lawsuit. In the Senate, I'm going to be a rock-solid conservative firewall for the America First agenda.
And as people get ready, Eric, as they get ready to go to the primary, by the way, for our listeners, the Republican primary isn't until August, but it'll be here before you know it. What should people be thinking about when they're deciding? Because it's been, at least when you look at different outfits, when they come to putting together polling, I mean, and maybe I'm wrong, but I've only seen 3 names that even got anything. You, Vicky Hartzler, and then Eric Greitens.
Yeah, I mean, I think when people go into that polling booth, you're going to ask yourself a very important question: who do I trust to go there and fight for me? Right? Are you going to send somebody there that has been there for over a decade and its voting record is, not conservative?
Right.
Are you going to send somebody who quit on the state, or are you going to send somebody there that's proven time and time again going to be your advocate, your fighter, your voice in the Senate when all these important debates roll through the United States Senate over the next decade? I think we're entering the most consequential period in our nation's history since the Civil War.
Absolutely.
Are we going to remain the freest country in the history of the world? Are we going to have a ministry of truth or not? And you want to send somebody up there that is going to fight for you again, that you can trust.
Let's hit on CRT real fast, because this stuff is coming out all over the place. And Webster Groves now has a CRT problem. Washington, D.C., they have a book that came out that they're showing pre-K kids that who's racist in their family and to out people in their family. We just found out that the Wentzville School District has a test on it that is completely racist. It's all over the place. It's like murder hornets. We got to tap it down. Is there a place in federal law that we can actually take a stab at rooting out CRT, or is that something that is literally just left to the executive and to the school boards? How does that work?
Well, I mean, I think the truth is a lot of this instruction is discriminatory. Right?
Yes,
it's founded on a belief that you divide up kids by the oppressor and the oppressed. I mean, again, some other people will talk about CRT. I've actually taken action. We have exposed it in Missouri. We are suing the largest school district in the state in Southwest Missouri, Springfield Public Schools, for hiding documents related to critical race theory, making its way into the classroom, the oppression matrix, the gender unicorn, the genderbread person. I mean, all this stuff is in our schools, and the left has told us these are graduate level courses, or there's a law school course. That's a lie. And so we've been working to expose it. We're pushing back. I absolutely think that we ought to prohibit this stuff. It's divisive. It's nonsense. Let's get back to educating our kids with math and with science and with reading. And how about civics? How about we learn a little bit about, our system of government, as opposed to telling everybody they got to hate somebody because of the color of their skin, or, that is what is being taught in our schools. It's a mess. And again, I've been unafraid to take it on. I've sued the Missouri School Boards Association for hiding documents and not telling us what their involvement was when the FBI was, going after parents in the Patriot Act. These things have never happened in Missouri before because people have been afraid to take on those big institutions. I haven't been, and I'm not going to stop when I'm in the Senate.
Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmidt telling us why he should be Missouri Senator when it comes to the United States Senate to replace Roy Blunt. Eric, thanks again for your time this morning. We appreciate it. I know you're busy, and if other things are going on, keep us posted on everything. I know your people do, especially with the work that was being done with Title 42 last week.
We'll do it. Thanks, guys. Take care.
All right, Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmidt. Good interview. Whether you agree with his politics or not, he knows where he stands, and he brings you what he's done in regards to what he's doing.
If anybody was applying for a job and they handed you a CV or a resume that was as stacked as his, you either go, you got the job immediately, or, man, you're overqualified. Because it's just the truth. The stuff he's working on day in and day out that is directly responsible for the positions that he's running for as a senator, as a governor, as a attorney general, whatever. He knows what's going on. He can answer questions directly, and he actually sells it really well. So, I mean, I'm not gonna. I don't want to put my thumb on any scale, but why isn't he the front runner in this race? I don't know. And
by some polling, he is. It all depends. The problem with the polling is the fact we've seen 3 polls, and they've all been closely associated with each of the individuals, whether it was Eric Schmidt, Eric Greitens, or Vicky Hartzler, and all 3 of those polling had their candidate leading. But one thing has been universal is that those 3 are the candidates who seem to have the lead, and not by just some, but by a lot.
Yeah, and to make no bones about it,
but that's still a lot. You're talking about 3 different people.
We talk about this on the show. The liberals have their cracks in their armor over there. They have the uber liberals, which no one can relate to, and then they have the blue dog Democrats, where like I have no idea how we got to this point. They have their challenges, no doubt, but be assured, Republicans have their challenges as well, and I think you're going to find a fight for the heart of the Republican Party. You are either a blue dog Democrat, you're a conservative like a Mitt Romney, or you fashion yourself like I can look at it as a rhino, but there's a lot of Trumpers out there. There's a lot of guys that just want to blow up the system on the Republican side and say, let's just start over. So Republicans have their challenges going forward as well. I just look at Eric Schmidt as kind of, I don't know what he is. I don't know if he's a patriot Trumper or if he's a rhino. I don't know what he is, but his resume is fantastic.
Well, the fact that there's commercials out right now that are attacking Eric Schmidt shows you that somebody thinks he's very powerful, because people and PACs don't spend money to go after candidates unless they're worried that they're the candidate that's going to win and they don't want them to, or they're the candidate that's leading and they want to cut the legs out from underneath them, so to speak.
Yeah.
And if you've seen those ads, there's some ads saying that Eric Schmidt is not a Trump guy. But Trump had Eric Schmidt.
He did go to Trump, yeah.
But Trump has been very wishy-washy. He has not endorsed anybody in this race. What he did was he talked positive about Eric Greitens. Then he had Eric Schmidt down and helped him raise about $1.4 to $1.7 million, helped at Mar-a-Lago. Mm-hmm. Then 2 weeks later, Trump said something positive about Billy Long. So it was like, I have no idea where Trump is. He's all over the freaking place.
Agreed.
And so nobody can say Trump only supports me.
Don't you start to, are you starting to get a mosaic of what people want as the Republican Party goes forward? And here's what I'm saying.
For the most part.
DeSantis is your president. I'm just
no. I don't.
Are you kidding?
No.
The mosaic I'm feeling from people that are conservative is, as I talk to them anyway, they would love to see, and they say this overtly, DeSantis would be a fantastic president.
Yeah, in Missouri, in Winsville.
Really?
Yes. You got to get out. Start talking to people all around the country.
No.
There are those, Eric. I'm just telling you, there are those.
What I'm saying is I don't think people want Trump to come back. And they're going, well, who would it be? Then they look at DeSantis and they go, you know what?
He's
smart, level-headed guy taking
candidate.
On. Is he really?
Yeah.
Oh, I think you're wrong.
Party.
I'm Christine Nome.
No.
You could go with that.
No,
you
has
could
no shot. No.
Seriously?
Yeah, she doesn't.
Have you heard her talk?
Yeah, that's not the point. There's a lot of well-spoken politicians out there who are Republicans.
I think the Republicans, literally, they're sitting in the bullpen right now with fresh arms ready to take on whatever team comes at them. I'm telling you right now.
Okay.
Let's get Angela involved in this. How's your car doing? I'm sorry. What'd you think? I mean, does a guy like Eric Schmidt, does he appeal to you, or are you kind of like, I'm out?
I like him better than I like Greitens.
Yeah.
I thought when we had Greitens on, Greitens talked around the questions, and I think Schmidt answers the questions. Now, if you agree or disagree with how he answered, that's a whole nother thing.
Can I ask you?
But at least he answered the question.
How did you disagree or agree
And
with
after
him?
this question, Eric, we got to get to Brad Young.
Okay, fantastic. How did you agree, or I'm seriously, and you can do it off the air if you want to. How did you agree or disagree with what he said or anything he said?
Well, I mean, I think it's fair to say that I don't lean as right as this room does for the most part, right?
Fair.
So there are some things that I see with caution, but
Well, when you say
again-
room, you mean Chris and Eric.
Right, yes. Because
I disagree with what you just said. I feel completely like my teeter-totter goes both ways. So that's
you
not
don't teeter-totter both
it.
ways.
It teeter-totters both ways. I'm like on the fulcrum.
Angela, I've been telling him this for 2 years.
I'm on
Thank
the
you.
fulcrum. I'm right on the fulcrum.
He's like, no, I'm liberal. I'm
not
no, you're
saying I'm
not.
liberal. I'm not saying I'm uberly conservative either.
Okay.
I'm right on the fulcrum, but go ahead.
Brad
Okay.
Young's on the phone. Let's talk to him, and then we'll come back to this.
It's hard to talk about.
It's not hard to talk about.
It's not
but
hard to talk about.
There literally is a man on the
We're
phone.
trying to get time. We gotta yank your harness back. We gotta pull you back in line. And Eric, I'm sorry. I love your
only
unbridled
reason
energy.
I am seriously interested in what she says. Don't yank on me. Go ahead.
Hey, Brad. Good morning. Thanks for taking the time. Sorry that you've been listening, but I know you like to listen to us, right?
I do. It's great to talk to you.
Hey, this leak, it was definitely intended. Are there vicious consequences behind this? Are there vicious actions and hopes by leaking what the Supreme Court appears to be doing and where they appear to be headed?
Well, I think there are benefits to leaking, and we're seeing that now.
Benefits for
because-
who?
Well, I think it benefits the left on this because it energizes the base. It was pretty much a foregone conclusion, and I think you and I had even talked about it here on the air before, a foregone conclusion that Roe v. Wade was either going to be significantly curtailed or completely overturned. And so the fact of what's in this decision isn't as important, I think, for the left, because it was already assumed this was what was going to happen. But it's a way to, number one, attempt to put political pressure on the court to not go through with this, first of all.
Yeah.
And second of all, this is the first emotional driver that the left has had, because the left is basically demoralized when it comes to voting. And so this is the first energizing event for the left to motivate them to get out and vote this November. So I think on both of those counts, it's clear that the only incentive to leak this is from the left.
So, right. The opinion almost makes sense in a lot of people, in a lot of law circles. It's like the opinion that the first draft of this thing, anyway, it does make sense to a lot of people. So they think, okay, this is legitimate. Number one, was it ethical for Politico to release it? And number two, the leaker, which there are 36 apparently law clerks over there, is there any legal damage that could come to the clerk that leaked this, or even the Supreme Court member that leaked this? What happens now?
Well, you've asked some great questions there, Eric. I guess your first question, is it ethical for Politico to run with this story? That's a tough
I
question
can
to
answer. I'm a journalist, Brad. If you want me to answer it, I'll answer it.
Yes, please.
Of course it was ethical, because in the way that it is now and how business goes when it comes to releasing stories, if somebody gives you a story, you can go with it. Yeah. So, hey, the leak isn't, and it isn't Politico's fault.
The first time in the history of the Supreme Court?
Yes, that makes it even more fascinating from a pure business standpoint of doing journalism.
That's journalist precedence now.
Absolutely.
That's journalistic precedence of releasing
Politico
documents.
did nothing wrong, even though I hate the fact that there was a leak.
Yes. So let's get to the second question. If we find out that a clerk is the one who leaked this, they can be prosecuted, because this is confidential government information until it's publicly released. So clerks could be prosecuted. The question becomes, what happens if one of the justices leaked this?
Correct.
Because the justices really couldn't be prosecuted. But what could happen is impeachment. That would be the only real option here. And in the history of the Supreme Court, there's only been one Supreme Court justice who has been impeached. That was Samuel Chase in 1804, but he was acquitted in the Senate. And in 1969, Abe Fortas resigned from the Supreme Court because he was going to be impeached. So that was kind of a Richard Nixon kind of a thing in 69. But we really don't have any Supreme Court justice who has been impeached and removed from the court. So this would be without precedent.
Now, a layman like myself, I'm listening to the banter back and forth on all the news channels, and at some point someone says, well, this doesn't just touch on Roe versus Wade. There's a contraception part of this whole thing that if this opinion goes forward and they get rid of Roe versus Wade, they can actually attach contraception to this thing too. Do you know anything about that, and is that accurate?
Yeah, there was a series of Supreme Court cases that were leading up to Roe versus Wade in '73, and several of them. Connecticut was one of them. I'm sorry, I forgot the exact name of the case, but they were litigated on whether or not states could prohibit contraception. And the Supreme Court started this idea of inventing a right to privacy, and that was the basis for Roe versus Wade. That's why, as you saw in the Alito opinion, there's this idea that you could just invent a right to an abortion is not grounded in the Constitution. It's not grounded in history. So, yes, I guess that would be technically possible, but if you look at the decision, at least the draft that we have, it specifically states, Alito specifically states, this is limited to abortion. It is not to be construed to apply to any other area regarding the right to privacy.
But I think you'll see people who disagree with this opinion try to associate to scare people. Hey, this can't happen. This is your contraception, blah, blah, blah. Talking with attorney Brad Young from St. Louis, Hairstyle, Fisher & Young. Brad, can you please explain to people when it comes to what would happen if this quote was overturned, how it would go from a legal standpoint when it comes to the states? Because right now, I don't know if people understand, this wouldn't be some federal law that goes all across the country. It would be up to the individual states, correct?
That's correct. And that's something that in my decades of talking about how Roe versus Wade was bad from a legal standpoint, people would say, well, if Roe versus Wade is overturned, then abortion's illegal across the country. False. That is not what would happen. In fact, if you look constitutionally, the 10th Amendment says all rights not delegated to the federal government are reserved for the states. And this clearly falls under that concept because there's no way that the framers of the Constitution created the Constitution to delegate federal authority for abortion control to the federal government. So each individual state, it would be up to them to determine politically whether abortion is or is not legal. But really, the actual effect of this, let's cut out all the hype, guys. The actual effect and impact of an overturning of Roe versus Wade is going to be minimal. Because if you look at how states are set up now, red states typically have a lot of abortion restrictions, and there's very few abortions. Blue states have practically no abortion restrictions. And so really it would just be a small step from where we currently are. It's not the disaster that the left is trying to portray it to be.
But now put your political hat on, because moving forward, what this is really engineered to do is to take the malaise out of the Democratic Party to build energy and to start to stack a little bit of momentum going into the midterms. So this is a well-timed bomb that they placed. What is your opinion? And you've been around the media and law long enough to make a opinion about how this moves forward and what happens.
Well, I think the first thing the court should do is, and remember, this draft is dated February, so there's been more drafts since this draft was drafted. I'm sorry to use the word draft so many times. But this decision may have already been reached by the justices. And if so, they should release this opinion today.
Yeah.
I mean, stop the bleeding. If they've already got the votes counted, if they've already got the final drafts done, they should release this opinion today to stop this bleeding. And if they don't have it done, this needs to be expedited, because the longer this goes, the worse it gets from a public relations standpoint. So I would certainly encourage the court to to expedite the issuance of this opinion and not wait until June.
Hey, Brad, one quick question before you leave, and we'll let you go. Because what happened with the Kim Gardner situation? We had 2 listeners who said, ask Brad, what happened? Was it fair, the decision? Did she get treated unfairly? Did she get overtreated? And where we sit right now?
Well, without exception, every attorney and even several judges that I've had conversations with about Kim Gardner have said it's outrageous that we have a pattern of conduct of hiding evidence from defendants, and she got essentially a slap on the wrist of probation. Now, where this stands is it's going to the Missouri Supreme Court. It's up to them. And the Missouri Supreme Court has not reached a decision on this yet. The so-called prosecutor of the ethics complaint has said they're recommending probation, but ultimately it's up to the Missouri Supreme Court. We'll have to wait to see what they decide.
Brad Young from Harris Dow, Fisher & Young. Brad, thanks for jumping in on the show today. We appreciate your knowledge all the time.
Hey, happy to do it, my friends. Happy to do it.
All right, Brad Young there. Hey, don't go anywhere. When we come back, I know. Hey, we're just getting started. It's the fastest 2 hours of morning talk radio. Come on, it's time for final.
Angela's going, I can't wait to get the birthdays.
No, she's
So
not.
The Roe versus Wade thing, that I have a thought on.
There you go.
So,
And we can get into that after our next interview. It's great.
God.
Okay.
Can't take it.
Brian Mingus is coming up right after the break. He's going to tell you why business owners in the city who tried to do everything they could at Laclede's Landing, redeveloping it, are frustrated. It's a story we did on Fox 2 last night. Andy Banker, what's happening with the homeless camps downtown and what they're doing to the property.
They make it
why
sound
the city
so fun.
won't do anything.
They make it sound so fun. Hey, let's go to the homeless camps tonight and just camp out. See, they can make money at it, actually. Charge people to go down there and camp with them.
What are you talking? Who?
Me. I'd go down there right now just to party with them on a Saturday night.
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
I think he wants to party with the homeless.
Well, maybe you and PRL should do some free concerts
Tonight,
down on the
PRL
landing.
at the homeless camp.
That's not even funny.
It is kind of. You can only joke about it, Vic, and then you got to blow your
Okay,
head
I
off.
got it. We'll get into that we'll get into that next. If you have questions, you just wait to
I'll
hear
bring
what's
the
happening
donuts.
downtown.
I'll bring-
Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, Angela Sharp. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2.
We can bring our RV.
Share the show, Facebook 100.7 The Viper. Back right after this.
Edge morning traffic. Still a few traffic jams out there this morning. 270 southbound, slow through Creve Coeur. That's from an accident near Olive. And then northbound 270 still jammed up from I-55 up through Manchester. The inner belt, 170 southbound there. Traffic finally moving again now that an accident before 6440 has been cleared. And then I-70 and I-6440 traffic is light in St. Charles County. Also not tracking any issues on 370 or the Page Avenue extension. I'm Fox 2's Molly Rose. That's your Edge morning traffic.
Good morning. Morning. Good morning, and a special good morning to you this morning.
Be informed.
Well, who is it?
The Edge Morning Show.
If you want the best, don't settle for the rest. Come to F&S. F&S Collision Repair provides the best customer service, quality of work, paint color match, and paintless dent repair. They do it all. No job too big or too small. Just what your car or truck ordered. F&S Collision. Call today to schedule your appointment and get that car repaired. F&S Collision Repair.
Join the annual BJC Foundation Golf Classic, May 9th at Old Hickory. Be part of bringing health, healing, and hope to St. Charles County. The BJC Foundation enriches the lives of our neighbors by funding these efforts. Massage therapy for Siteman cancer patients and their caregiver. Activity carts for patients and families. Transportation service for patients who need to receive treatment. And community health, wellness, and education programs like Community Strong. Register online at bjcstcharlescounty.org/golf.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, it's Shanny from Mascots Bar and Grill, and I'll tell you what, if you're looking for a place to watch the game with friends, Cardinals, Blues, whatever, it's Mascots Bar and Grill. If you're looking for a place for happy hour, it's Mascot's Bar and Grill. Heck, grab some friends, get a table, and play rock and roll bingo every night and twice on Saturdays at Mascot's Bar and Grill. You can win some great prizes. Seriously, great prizes at Mascot's for playing rock and roll bingo. And it's absolutely free to play. Wednesday night is ladies' night, and you won't believe the specials they have going on there. Come by for lunch. They're the home of the legendary lunch special. You go tell them you're FOS, you're a friend of Shanny's, and you want that big old burger and fries for just $5, and they're going to give it to you fresh and hot, just the way you ordered it, and it's so delicious, and you don't have to do the dishes. If you go once, you will go again and again. Mascot's Bar and Grill, home of the legendary lunch special.
You work from home, and now home can be anywhere you want with an RV from Bill Thomas Camper Sales. RV travel is the ultimate social distancing for your family, and you know what you have with you and where it's been. For 55 years locally, family-owned, Bill Thomas Camper Sales has had the highest quality for every budget, and they have guidelines in place for your safe shopping experience. Travel in comfort and safety with a visit to Bill Thomas Camper Sales in Wentzville. For details, hours, and directions, go to btcamper.com.
You're always up for some fun with the family, so you order the essentials, a new board game, some baking supplies, and even a new projector for outdoor movie night. And with the Bank of America customized Cash Rewards credit card, you can choose to earn 3% cash back on online shopping, which could increase to up to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member. Rewards which you can put toward an extra treat that everyone will enjoy, like an old-fashioned popcorn machine. Visit bankofamerica.com/more rewarding and apply now. Copyright 2021 Bank of America Corporation.
Now another hour of The Edge Morning Show on KFNS Troy St. Charles. The Edge Morning Show.
Get a grip on your finances with People's Bank and Trust's new mobile banking service. You can now manage your accounts, check balances, transfer funds, and pay bills with ease and all from the palm of your hand. Activate your phone today by visiting us online at www.pbtc.net. People's Bank and Trust. Hometown banking the way it should be. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Shop in one place, O'Fallon Overhead Doors, for your residential and commercial garage doors and gates. As a locally owned, family-operated business, O'Fallon Overhead Doors provides 5-star service. Their technicians are not paid on commission, so they won't sell you something you don't need. Looking for a new door, a repair, or yearly maintenance? Call O'Fallon Overhead Doors on Continental Drive in Wentzville, 272-2722. Showroom open weekdays 8 till 4:30. Free estimates on new doors. Visit O'FallonOverheadDoors.com.
Viper Weather with legendary chief meteorologist Dave Murray.
Hi, this is Viper meteorologist Dave Murray on this Tuesday. We're going to see a lot of dry time today. Any shower, thunder shower activity quickly shuts down first thing in the morning. I'm going to be optimistic, call it a mix of clouds and sunshine. Temperatures, we will be close to 70 for the high, but don't let that fool you because temperatures will be dropping into the 60s, even into the 50s going through this afternoon. Tonight, some clearing, 50 for the overnight low. Wednesday, partly sunny, 69. However, systems are moving quickly, and I think we'll see a pretty good increase in clouds Wednesday afternoon. Then guess what? Same pattern. We're going to see more rain and some thunderstorms Wednesday night, Thursday night, and into at least Friday morning. From the Viper Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray. Now back to the Edge on 100.7, The Viper.
Whipper River Electric, a Touchstone Energy cooperative. The Edge Morning Show.
Local headlines now with Fox 2's Vic Faust.
Time now is 9 o'clock. It's Tuesday, May 3rd. A lot to get into with our headlines from news and sports. Victims of the Edwardsville Amazon warehouse tornado are starting to get some information when it comes to what's happening in regards to that horrible night. We're going to continue to follow that story when it comes to what kind of payouts they may receive. Cannabis dispensaries approved for Belleville, Illinois. That'll be a first there. Busch Stadium's hosting a hiring event today. You can go to fox2now.com to find out more details on what's going on. We've been talking about it today. Missouri politicians have mixed reaction to Roe v. Wade and the possibility of the Supreme Court overturning it. And as expected, it's mostly down party lines, Republicans and Democrats. We'll be talking about this after we speak with Brian Mingus here about what's heading in the city. Webster Groves, the school district, is being sued right now and facing a lot of backlash over a student survey where they were asking middle school students and high school students their sexual preference and political affiliation. We'll get into all of that as well. Just very bizarre what's happening. Ferguson looks like they're going to get a new health center, which that region really needs. A DeSoto murder victim, or the victim's families and friends spoke out yesterday because there was an execution that is going to take place. A couple was killed in DeSoto, just brutalized a long time ago. Also, when it comes to the sports side of things, how about the Blues? They dominate. Well, the score was dominating 4-0 last night in Minnesota. Ville Husso, 37 saves. He was absolutely amazing. And, DP57. How about Mr. Perron, a hat trick last night? Blues scored 3 power play goals. And better yet, it looks like Minnesota's going to be without their captain maybe in the next game. The league's reviewing an incident where he cheap-shotted Pavel Buchnevich of the St. Louis Blues. Cardinals also won yesterday. They only scored 1 run, but it was enough. They shut out the Royals, and they play in Kansas City tonight, beginning a series there. That's a look at your morning news and sports. Let's get into our birthdays.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. That's right. I served you cake. I'm Peggy. Pull your leggy. Happy birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. Go.
Well, I don't know 97% of these people, but maybe you guys do. I know this one, Cheryl Burke. She is on Dancing with the Stars. Her birthday's today. She is 38 years old. Rebecca Hall, who played the Kong expert in Godzilla vs. Kong.
No, don't know her.
Okay, she's 40 years old today. Christina Hendricks, who was on Good Girls and Mad Men.
Yes.
Okay,
No.
she was Joan on Mad Men. She is 47 years old today. Eric, you and I are on the same boat on these.
Yeah.
Amy Ryan from The Office. She was Holly on The Office. She is 54 years old today.
Only because you said Holly on The Office.
Only because you said Office.
Christopher Cross. He is behind the songs like Sailing,
Of
Ride
course.
Like the Wind. Okay, you
that
know
was
who that
Eric's
is.
time period.
You know that's right.
Okay.
He was actually a really good guitar player.
You know him. I mean, you know who he
Oh,
is.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
He is
yeah.
71 years old today. And Eric Church, it's his birthday today.
Stop
That's
it.
the one I knew.
Oh,
Stop
He's
it.
43 today.
Eric Church is 43.
Yeah, happy birthday to all our famous friends. It's the only one I knew. I'm sorry.
This is the Edge Morning Show.
Today is National Teacher Day.
National Teacher Day has been around since 1953.
I'm a teacher.
She tries to help kids learn.
I'm a teacher.
She's really good at math. Nice and kind.
I'm a teacher.
And she reads good books to us.
I work hard every day.
To educate your kids.
Take a moment to say thank you.
A huge thank you to a teacher.
Happy National Teachers Day.
It's showtime.
And we welcome you back into the fastest 2 hours of morning talk radio. Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, Angela Sharp. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. Eric, y'all there, buddy, after that first hour? Eric Schmidt joined us. Brad Young.
There was a difference between usually we run the lap really slow, and that was a sprint.
We don't run the lap slow. We're always going fast.
Well,
That's
slower
why it's
than
the
that.
fastest. That was
Slower
just
than
warp
that.
speed for you. Well, we get into another major topic now this morning, and we welcome in Brian Mingus of Advantis Group. I had a chance to meet Brian about 3 years ago. And Brian, if my timing is messed up, forgive me. I'm getting older, and I do a lot of stories. But I was amazed at the development of what was happening on the landing, and at least 2 buildings, maybe a third, that were nearly sold out with people living downtown, revamping, revitalizing what so many St. Louisans knew as the life of St. Louis on the landing. You guys were doing well. I know you had COVID. What has happened and what is going on with homeless camps downtown? Because my colleague Andy Baker profiled and did a story on this last night on Fox 2. And welcome to the show for the first time.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. I appreciate the being a part of this. Yeah, I mean, we've been down here for a little over 4 years now. changing the composition of the riverfront, from a nightclub standpoint to a more of a neighborhood type component. We have made significant progress on our density. We look to have about 230 apartments here over in about 18 months. And so obviously, part of that is growing the neighborhood out of its old sort of constraints and its hampers. And so one of the topics that has come up, of course, that we've been wrestling with significantly over the last 4 years is this riverfront homeless encampment. We've been extremely patient, and we understand that they need solutions. But we are getting to the point where it has grown to such a size that is clearly affecting both the businesses. We have businesses leaving down here. We have residents that are concerned. And, we're trying to turn the page and create, economic growth, grow the tax base, et cetera. But now's the time to start to make these solutions a priority. And I think when you really drill down to the source of the problem, it's more of an addiction problem than a homeless problem.
No, you're wrong.
And I think
it's not an addiction problem. It is a political problem. This is coming from people breaking the law. It's happening all over the country.
He was talking about the people themselves.
I understand that. There's addiction all over the place. There's addiction here in Wentzville and St. Charles. It's all over the place. It's how law enforcement deals with it is a totally different thing.
Yeah, but let Brian finish.
Yeah, I don't disagree at all. I mean, the whole political policy regarding the allowance of encampments in public areas has been a complete failure around the country. I'm 100% agreement there. I just think at the end of the day, too, the solution needs to include programs that have some oversight, where they're really trying to, force these individuals into scenarios that are going to better their lives versus just continuing to allow this unfettered, unstable situation that goes on and does nothing for any party involved. And so, we are, we're at the riverfront, the landing spot of St. Louis, and if and when you walk down there right now, LKS is led into an abyss of vacant lands and needles and homeless encampments versus a pedestrian activated area that could be, the spot for regional growth within St. Louis. And instead, we just turn our backs on it and seem to think that this is okay. And, the other component that I really wanted to make abundantly clear, especially with regards to, Alderwoman Negracia's comments in the Post, that our businesses and our residents aren't affected by this. It's a complete falsification and just flat out just not.
What did Alderwoman Negracia say, Brian? I'm sorry to interrupt. What did she say so that the listeners know?
Well, I think she stated that if there was ever a place for an encampment to be allowed that doesn't affect businesses or residents, this would be the one.
Unbelievable.
And that's just completely false. I mean, on a daily basis, I can give you a list of 100 incidents that have been documented through our private security with pictures, et cetera, of just blatant disregard, damage to the neighborhood. It's just a complete public safety nightmare. I mean, we've got, the old spaghetti factory, which has been down for ages.
Yes.
they have families in there, and legit. I'm not lying. We have cases where some of the unhoused are high on whatever it is they're high on, and their pants are down, and they've walked into a family restaurant scenario on a Saturday. I mean, if I brought my family down here for the first time and that happened, I'm never coming back.
I didn't mean to be so unsympathetic to the. I'm saying I think that you have said you're looking at them as, oh, look, I know they're victims, and we have to be. No, you don't. It's against the law to do what they're doing. The St. Louis police should be over there, in my opinion, on day one with a huge truck taking all the tents and saying it's against the law. Bye. Don't forget to write. And being and understanding that you have property value and that the vision of St. Louis is not to destroy what really the Laclede's Landing is a national park, which makes it another level of problem. Why? Who do you blame on this? And don't, Do you blame the mayor's office? Do you blame the prosecutor's office? Do you blame the chief of police? Who is to blame for letting a tent city develop in St. Louis, Missouri? And to be honest with you, this is the first I'm hearing of it. I thought St. Louis was free of tent cities, unlike Los Angeles and New York. Who is to blame for this?
Well, I mean, I think there's a number of different levels. I think at the end of the day, St. Louis City has a hard time taking a very hard-lined approach on items that could significantly alter the direction of the metropolitan area in a positive way. And I think that's really what it boils down to. There's too much political gridlock. There's little leadership in starting, in establishing 4 or 5 main initiatives and really tackling them. And there's just no backbone or hard-lined approach. And I don't know if it's political. I don't know if it's inefficiencies at the metropolitan level, at the mayor's office. I have no idea. There's very simple legislation that could be passed to change these particular items overnight for the betterment and the growth and the economic engine that St. Louis downtown and the riverfront could be.
Hey, we're talking with Brian Mingus of the Advantis Group. He owns property downtown where the old Laclede's Landing used to be. Can you give a geographical idea of where this, quote, tent city is in direction to your property, and how many people you're seeing in that area and what they're doing besides walking into the old spaghetti factory with their pants down?
Yeah. So just to kind of our particular, at least Laclede's Landing geographical area is 9 square blocks. It's east of 3rd Street, south of Martin Luther King Bridge, west of the river, of course, and then north of Eads Bridge, just bordering the Arch grounds. And then when you expand even a little bit further north, you have the casino parcels up to Carr Street. And basically in the middle of that on the riverfront, which is the old Admiral Port Cachere, is where the tent encampment has sort of grown. I would say there's probably 35 people down there. I don't know, maybe 20 different tents. And the actions that we're talking about here is, they've created a home base there, okay, and they use the landing as kind of their pass-through to go to the downtown core, and then we're left with all the scraps that happen as they kind of walk through there. The other concern that some of our residents have noticed and submitted to the police is that, what comes along with these encampments is drug abuse. And we've got dealers coming in and down off of MetroLink and essentially creating a supply chain over to that encampment. And we've got residents that basically said they've got watchers. They've got people over by Eads, and they've got people up further north. And if somebody starts walking their way, they start clapping things or they start making significant noises to basically tip them off. And it's just gotten to the point where all these ancillary problems. Look, I could put as much money down here as I can. We can place new retail operators. There's only certain things we can do. The city's got to do the rest to allow us to move the needle. And without that assistance and without that push, we can only take it so far. And, if it wasn't someone like me that really truly believes in St. Louis City, I don't think this Laclede's Landing would have ever been taken on.
Well, you're absolutely right, and I feel sorry for you because you have one of the best visuals out of your window that anyone has in the country, no doubt. But how long until you're like, I've had enough. I'm literally going to go move to Forestell and build a house because I can't take this stuff anymore. When do you personally just pull up stakes and leave? Have you given your time a timeline?
It's getting there, right? I mean, I am significantly ingrained. I've got 3 current projects with hammers in the walls down here, and I've got 2 others that I own that I have, construction funding packaged up for that we're just waiting to kick off so that we don't bottleneck too much. But, the other component is that has kind of created the vacuum that has allowed this on the riverfront is the fact that the Greenway project that was adopted in 2015 never got kicked off when it should have. Yep. And, now we've got owned parcels that are just sitting there dilapidated, waiting for this Greenway project that has sort of created that nesting opportunity for the encampment. And, that's got to get supported too. That's got to get driven. That should be a leading initiative for this city and just regionally for economic growth. And so to answer your question, my hopes are over this next 3 projects as they get stabilized and we add another 110 apartments to the 50 that we already have fully occupied here, that we start to create even a little bit more density down here to move the needle, and then it start to attract some legitimate operational retail, in a unique way, so that when there's tourists or visitors down here on the arch grounds, they can walk over here and have a great experience and spend the whole day down here, right? Versus just going to the arch and leaving. The other thing that's holding us back significantly, which you probably all know, is that whoever decided to remove the 1,000-space parking garage off the arch grounds when they redeveloped it was a huge item that basically destroyed any capacity for Laclede's Landing to activate its retail. I think so we need a garage in Laclede's Landing, and we're not getting a whole lot of traction from that standpoint. I mean, if we can provide 500 spaces of transient capacity, the ability for people to be able to park there, spend some dollars, make a day of it, walk over to the arch grounds, spend some money on Laclede's Landing, you've got a scenario where people are spending a lot of money.
And Brian, there's a lot of American Rescue Plan Act money in the city of St. Louis. I know your alderwoman isn't going to fight for a garage for that, but you already know how much money the city has. The city is sitting, and I've been told by people that there's a lot of money just sitting there. It would be great if things changed around. I don't know what's going to happen. I do know that you're not the only. If things changed around, I don't know what's going to happen. I do know that you're not the only business owner that's been dealing with some of these things, as we heard from last night in our story with Andy Banker on Fox 2. But I can say this, a lot of the negative that you've talked about, what you've seen because of the camp, it's there. But you blew me away a few years ago when I went down to the Landing and I saw what was transforming there. Can you talk about what the possibility really is? And not just because you're invested, but what has happened and who's been making up the purchasing of all of these apartments, because they're really nice.
Yeah, I mean, what I will say is that the middle-aged, younger demographic really wants to live where the action is at. In the face of all the issues that we're currently experiencing, they're making a dedicated decision to want to live down where the action is occurring, because we have, like I said, our vacancy rates are extremely low, and in the face of all this, they're still willing to call Laclede's Landing home, and even just in downtown proper. So, to your point, we are very bullish on what this can be. It's a nice little community down here, kind of off the beaten path, 6- and 7-story buildings versus the 40-story buildings. You've got green space, you've got views of the river, and you've got the entire arch grounds to the south of you, which is essentially another forest park. I mean, it just made all the sense in the world when I came down here in 2017 that this has the legs, that it has the ability to be a preeminent location, not only for the residents, but just for St. Louis regional growth in general.
It's a shame. It really is a shame hearing, because I was telling the group around here that back in the 90s, the Landing was so vibrant. I mean, it was a St. Louis emerald, and it's turning into, it's like you guys you're at a crossroads, and you need to bring all hands on deck. The governor's office, the governor's office, you have the mayor's office, economic development teams better get on this quickly, and you guys better figure it out fast, because I've seen Seattle and Los Angeles go down the hill quick, and this is kind of where I feel like St. Louis is at now. You're at a crossroads. You need to make a decision. You're either going to get rid of the homeless camps, you're going to bring crime under control, or someone like yourself is going to pull stakes and you're moving west or wherever you're going to go. That's how I see it, and I feel sorry for you, but I think right now you're at a point where you need to grit your teeth and say, I've had enough. You got to fix this now.
Yeah, easier said than done.
Well, I don't know what
Who's
to tell
gonna
you,
change
Vic.
it?
Huh? Who's going to change it? Like I just said,
the city.
The city. Exactly right.
You
They're the
can't-
only ones that can fix this right now.
I don't know how you're going to force that. Brian, we appreciate you joining us, my friend. Thanks for getting us updated. Anything else you want to leave us with?
No, just I think the mantra just needs to be that the hopes are to stay vigilant because there's only so many more opportunities that we have in turning the direction of downtown to be able to compete with our competitors, which is Clayton and St. Charles, et cetera, and all these other municipalities that are starting to kind of do their own little things, such as 4th of July events or farmers markets or whatever. I mean, every year less and less people are taking the trip down to the city, down to downtown to experience events outside of sporting events.
And it's not
right?
because we don't want to. Let me just say that right now. We would love to come to St. Louis and hang out for the day as long as it was safe and there were things to do. And you're absolutely right. I would love to see St. Louis become developed like the streets of St. Charles or like Clayton. You're absolutely right. And I hope that it does work out for you guys, man.
Brian Mingus with the Adventist Group. Brian, thanks for joining us last night. Good story with Andy Banker on Fox 2 last night.
Thanks for the time. Appreciate it.
All right. Appreciate him joining us. I don't know how you get it fixed. The city has to care enough to do that. That starts with your city leaders.
I will bring in tomorrow picture
Police
upon
aren't
picture.
going to go do anything unless they're
Dude,
told
I don't know
to
what
do
you're
anything.
talking about. It's against the law. If it's against the law, you have an entire division of homeless cops. They're saying, you can't be here. Bye. Or you bring them
St.
somewhere
Louis
else.
City police are already staying away from crimes
Then it's-
that are not
then who's
considered
supposed
to be violent.
Who's supposed to do it?
They're not being prosecuted either.
Who's supposed? If I set up
It starts with the city.
If I set up a tent right in the middle of Forest Park, am I even allowed to do that? Can I just go down there and hang out right in the middle of Forest Park? Can I bring my tent to the St. Louis Zoo and just stay there for a month? Can I? I'm asking. That is not rhetorical. Can I actually do that?
Well, you can't stay inside the zoo.
Why
because
not?
They
close.
They close it. So
Well, then
that's-
you got to
that's an
shut the gate when
open
you're leaving.
That's an open and closed
That's not a
place.
business. I mean, that's a business.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
a bit.
you can't-
Okay, I'm sorry. Forest Park's not a business. How about that? Can I do that at Forest Park?
I don't know.
I suppose if you weren't on the golf course or the Muni's lot or
Can I go to the Muni and
The
just hang
lake?
out and do like
No.
a fake
You
presentation?
you sure cannot.
I cannot do
No.
my I can't do my puppet show after
No.
everybody's gone
You sure cannot.
and sell tickets. I can't do that.
No,
Why not?
because it's also a business.
I'll go with you. Let's
Oh
go.
my God. Okay.
Let's
Seriously, it's St. Louis.
Let's try it, Eric.
It's the most rundown government I've ever seen. Come on, St. Louis, pick it up and fix St. Louis. It will benefit everybody. It will benefit everybody, Angela. But I think St. Louis is just late to the homeless encampment trend that's going on all over the country. I saw it in Seattle first. I was like, what are you doing letting people just sit here in Pioneer Square?
Well, Louis Reed, president of the Board of Aldermen, I think he's been fighting it because he said that the current mayor, Tashara Jones, wants a tent city.
What?
Yeah, that's what he told
And
us.
you learn something new on this show
No,
every damn day.
You were here, Eric, for the interview.
I was?
Yes, you were.
I didn't hear him say that she
Yes.
wants. I'm gonna have to go re-listen to that because
Yeah, she wants money to support it.
Why don't she donate?
What do you mean? Why don't she donate?
She wants money to support it. Why don't she put her own money?
Oh my God. Okay.
First
That's
of
a
all,
whole nother thing with
a
politicians.
tent city does not have adequate sewer and water. Number one. Number two, a tent city does not have adequate electrical run to said tent city. Second of all, tent city does not have adequate policing of people who get pissed off at each other, who have too much crack in their system, who beat the crap out of each other. There's no law enforcement. So there is no way that a tent city is a good thing for any urban area. I don't understand why they just don't say, move along, get out of here. You cannot be here.
Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, Angela Sharp, Vic Faust of Fox 2. We can continue to talk about this. We can get into the Roe v. Wade situation where it looks like the Supreme Court. We can talk about the Eric Schmidt interview, or we can also get into what's happening at Webster Groves right now You want to talk about, quote, backlash? The district coming under fire, even being sued now for a student survey that they have given to middle school kids and high school kids, which includes wanting to know their sexuality preference. We'll break it down. You're listening to the fastest 2 hours of morning talk radio. We'll be back with more right after this. Share the show on Facebook, 100.7 The Viper.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good. Really good. So good, you gotta try it. With Straight Talk, you can get our Silver Unlimited plan for just $45 a month. Now with unlimited high-speed data, plus 5 gigabytes hotspot data, and no contract, with nationwide 5G on America's best networks. Why pay a whole lot for your data when you can get unlimited for a whole lot less? Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Spectrum Glass is known for their quality work on windshields, but they do so much more. Spectrum Glass also specializes in residential, commercial, and automotive window tinting. Reduce the heat, reduce the fading, and increase your comfort with professional window tinting from Spectrum Glass. Serving St. Charles and surrounding counties since 1995, Spectrum Glass is still your premier company for windshield replacement. And with free mobile service, they come to you. 636-294-1800 on Facebook and SpectrumGlassOnline.com.
If you owe the IRS back taxes, then get ready to pay up. The IRS has giant private collection agencies actively tracking down folks who owe the IRS. So if you think dodging them was stressful in the past, it's going to get a whole lot tougher. Optima Tax Relief has this advice. Don't wait. Solve your tax problems now before it's too late. Optima Tax Relief works to stop the demand letters, stop the aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS collectors from targeting you. Ask Optima about the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands, and nobody knows this program better than they do. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, and they get results, having resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get a fresh start. Call today for your free consultation.
Call 800-624-7544. 800-624-7544. 800-624-7544.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
At Locke's Family Hair Salon in St. Peters, the emphasis is on family. Women, men, and children's styles to make everyone look amazing. And they have their new line of Locke's shampoo and conditioner, just for Locke's clients. For cuts, color, perms, and more. Come in for Brazilian blowouts, face waxing, makeup, and hair extensions too. On Mexico Road in St. Peters by Smoothie King. For directions and appointment information, go to LOXFamilyHairSalon.com. Locke's Family Hair Salon, where family is everything.
Midnight Auto Supply in St. Peters carries a full line of automotive parts and paints. They're a PPG Platinum distributor of automotive paint and industrial coatings and auto body shop supplies for over 40 years. Your hometown auto parts store is Midnight Auto. Stop in at Midnight Auto Supply in St. Peters, just off Mexico Road, 447-4000, 447-4000 on the web at mid-niteautosupply.com.
My daughter used to be a shining star. I would tell her, there's nothing you can't do. Now, it's like living with a stranger. It happens so fast. Centerpoint Hospital, real help for addiction and hope for a bright future.
If a young person dear to you is facing substance use, the Changing Point at Centerpoint Hospital now offers adolescent treatment solutions with detox, 4-week residential, and outpatient treatment. The Changing Point for Adolescents at Centerpoint Hospital. Hope for a bright future.
Hi, my name is Takia, and a little thing that I love about the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is when I take a bite, it's the perfect blend from the bacon to the cheese. It's perfection.
Hey, I'm Katora, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A mac and cheese is it kind of melts in your mouth, so you know it's creamy, cheesy, and delicious. This gooey mac makes me cheese every time.
Order dinner delivered on the Chick-fil-A app today. Delivery fee and other restrictions apply. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Here comes more of the Edge Morning Show.
I need some Hot Tub Time Machine. I need to watch that. That'll make me feel
We'll
better.
take you back to the 80s and the,
I know. We gotta
and
go
the
back.
landing.
We got to go back. Exactly.
You'll have a blast. We'll go see Pale Divine. Maybe go over to Bogart's.
You know, their lead
Mississippi
singer,
Nights.
Pale Divine's lead singer is still in the St. Louis area.
Yeah. Michael.
Our listener Joel loves him. Michael's around singing.
He's great. He's the best. He inspired me to actually pursue music.
Are you kidding me?
Oh no! Back at the
From
Animal
Pale Divine?
At the Animal House days, the Eyes. Come on, man.
I hope Joel's listening.
Come on, man.
Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, Angela Sharp. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. We got a story about your school district, Angela.
I know, I heard. I'm not shocked by it, though.
Webster says they're not doing anything wrong, but a national legal organization is calling them out, suing them. The Southeastern Legal Foundation says that Webster Grove School District made students answer personal surveys without parental consent. Webster said, yeah, we did it. They didn't tell us why, but they said they did it. Webster Grove students have been asked to answer surveys, even on a weekly basis, with some of the questions asking the kids about their sexual orientation and their political party. SLF, the Southeastern Legal, said that it's against the law. The school district says, no, it's not. We've done it. However, the school, according to the attorneys, say it's against you can't ask these personal questions without parental consent. So that's where they say, quote, the information is personal and sensitive. You need parental consent. So numerous complaints from parents, which while there's probably parents who don't mind it, so many complaints in Webster, believe it or not, that's how this got back to the legal foundation that has now come in to try to take care of this.
What's your sexual orientation? Upside down. It's ridiculous.
Oh my God.
This is getting. It's almost to the point where you can't even comment anymore. It's
They
like,
also
it's just
asked
stupid.
the
Just
kids,
stupid.
what are your parents' political beliefs as well?
I find it kind of interesting, and here's why. I do know back in the day that the Echo, which is the newspaper that the students produce at Webster Groves High School, had put out a survey basically asking students their favorite sexual position, and all the kids from the Echo that year got called into the principal's office and kind of yelled at because you couldn't do that. So I do find it interesting that wasn't allowed not terribly that long ago, and now the district itself wants to know what your orientation is. I mean, I guess they haven't went as far as what your favorite sexual position is, but it's still in the same realm.
It is.
Right? So just a few years ago, that wasn't allowed and everybody got in trouble. And now not only is it allowed, but they themselves, the district wants to know. So I find that interesting.
And to fix this, what's the fix? It's easy. How do we become competitive with our kids and be the best, most educated country in the world? Well, you would have to make a case to stop this garbage about sexual orientation and trying to figure out what your parents' political disposition is. You would start there, you would think.
Well, now, to be completely fair on that, like we talked about before, teachers try to make things relevant so that they can teach the class. So I remember being, young in an elementary school, and it was you had to make a poster of whoever you wanted to vote for president that year. I can't remember who it was that year, but that it kind of went into play with that. And one would assume, now you could be assuming wrongly, of course, but one would assume that a kid who's in first grade is probably picking the president nominee that their parent is picking. I know this came up recently in a totally different school district because they wanted each of the kids to kind of vote for either Trump or Biden. And I know one of the parents personally was so mad about that because he doesn't feel like his kid would get a fair shot if she went in there.
Yeah.
They were voting for Trump, so he didn't feel like his kid would get a fair shot at the school if she went in front of everybody and put her little coin or whatever it was in the Trump bucket. So this has been going on for years and years and years because teachers try to keep things relevant. Now we've gotten to the point where if you pick a certain political party, the other political party may bully you and make you eat lunch in the bathroom.
Well, the legal representation here, and here's what it gets down to. Middle schoolers, kids as young as 6th grade, being asked about their sexual activity. Think about this being a parent of a 6th grader.
And think about this being
Having
in
your
Webster,
kid-
which is more liberal also. This
Their
is not St.
sexual,
Charles.
their sexual activity, sexual orientation, who you're voting for, who your parents vote for. Said it's illegal. The Webster Grove School District responds by stating that they're trying to provide each of their kids a quality education as comprehensive as possible to prepare them for their adult lives. They say to accomplish that, it's essential to become and remain aware of their learning environment, how safe and included they feel, and how the district can support the students better so that each can reach his or her full potential. They say that they're not violating state or federal law.
They are.
So we'll see where
Well,
this
it
all
seems
goes.
like-
it's not the end of the story, I can tell you that. But keep in mind, even as more liberal-leaning Webster can be, several parents are pissed, and that's how it got all the way to this group, this legal group that has now launched this, I guess, I guess you'd call it a legal bout with Webster Groves, the
So-
Southeastern Legal Foundation.
Does anyone in this room feel like the only real solution, and you can smack your head against the wall as much as you want, but you eventually, people like myself, unlike John Parker, who's over here on Facebook just saying some of the most ridiculous crap I've ever seen, people like me want a solution. So what is said problem? Said problem is that there are a percentage, not all, because Angela would be probably a parent that would look at this document and go, yeah, this is cool with me. I'm fine with it, whatever. But there's other parents that are like, I'm not cool with it. So the problem is there are some parents that don't want this garbage in their kid's head. So what is said solution? The solution is you have to develop a school system that is exactly contrary to the school system that is being offered up. You need a system where the parent goes, I would like Johnny to learn reading, writing, arithmetic, maybe participate in gym so that he can go to play football, or maybe become an artist, or maybe become a musician, and get them a world-class, there's the key word right there, a world-class education. So what is the solution? You need to develop a system of schooling that says there is no woke speak here. There is none of this LGBTQ stuff here. You guys handle that on your
what about
own.
the kids that are in that district that are in the LGBTQ
Then they
plus
stay
community?
there. Stay there. Stay there. Stay there. Don't come over to the other place because
So
we're
I
not
can,
doing
I
that
can
here.
follow this to a point, and that is the point of trying to make sure you have an inclusive space for any student. However, I'm going to stop there because, again, I remember the Echo newspaper getting in trouble for asking students what their favorite sexual position was. And I really don't see how it's different to ask middle schoolers what their sexual preference is versus what their favorite sexual position is.
Again.
I don't see, I can't find, those are the same.
To me, Angela, I'm getting to the point where I'm like, knock yourself out, Webster. Have fun with this sexual orientation stuff. You guys can even have videos on the best sex toys there are on the planet. That is the third period. I, on the other hand, think that kids should look more like parents that want their kids to get to the advanced classes, to be able to get to MIT, to be able to get to Mizzou on a full ride, become lawyers, doctors, nurses, engineers, astronauts, whatever. But I don't think this social studies stuff, when I believe that you spend 1 nanosecond on this garbage, it's taking a nanosecond away from the stuff that really actually matters.
Then you guys are going to love this. So, like I talk about, I read the Webster Kirkwood Times a lot. Don't live there anymore. I just like to read it, keep up what's going on. And there was a letter to the editor recently where a student from the Trump-Biden election, Trump-Hillary election, where it was announced that Trump won, his Spanish teacher cried all day and didn't teach any Spanish that day because Trump won.
Yeah.
And he said that he thought that was bizarre. Now, I do think that's bizarre. Why? I don't think as a kid I should know and or care what who my Spanish teacher voted for. I don't feel like, yes, we should talk about the election. You have to talk about the election. That's something kids are going to have to be voting in a few short years, really.
In the right classes.
Right, in the right classes, in the right way. But I shouldn't know that my favorite teacher votes this way or whatever. I disagree with that.
Okay. But let's start. I don't think that you're going to fix the problem that we're talking about anymore from this point forward. I don't believe in the public school systems after I saw the rat come out of Wentzville, Missouri with that dumbass question saying that Johnny's a racist if he's a Republican.
Teresa.
Whatever his name was or her name was. I'm having a problem with Webster and this little document. There's another thing in Washington, D.C. that just came out, a book that's being handed to kids about outing their parents as far as being racist. I am to the point right now where I even think if you're like, just take the tax base that pays for your school and say, here, keep your money, go apply it to whatever's. We need competition in schools. There was a pizza joint that my friends would go to, and it was the only pizza joint that was within 5 miles of where we were at, and we would always go there. And this pizza joint did not have pepperoni pizza. I did not like going to that pizza joint, but there was no competition.
That's communist.
It is. It was another, and the pizza joint also made a carb-free pizza, which was more like a soup, and I was disgusted with it. Now, if they would have had an Emo's Pizza right next door, I would have been there all the time. See, Vic doesn't like Emo's. You need to build schooling that applies to the belief system of the parents.
We're getting back. You're right.
I'm serious about that. So, unfortunately, there's not a lot of parents that can afford a Catholic schooling. They cannot afford to send their kids to Catholic private schooling.
Or don't agree with Catholicism in general.
Exactly.
Right?
So I'm saying that this story sucks because the parents have no options.
Well,
that's why the story really
great
sucks.
Points from the Facebook line. Glenn says, in the workplace, you'd be fired for sexual harassment if you asked an employee what their sexual preferences are. Yet, all of a sudden, we think it's fine for a school district to start asking kids as young as the 6th grade. Also, Cindy says, religion isn't allowed to be taught in public schools. You shouldn't be able to talk about sex and politics as well, specifically sex and what you are at the same point in time if you're not going to talk about religion at the same. Great point. Outstanding point.
Also,
you can't
asking
have
a middle schooler to choose that seems early to me.
Exactly.
And then get into the whole point of the Don't Say Gay bill, which Governor DeSantis signed in Florida. You actually had all these entertainers and people like Cohen from Bravo talking about these kids deserve to be taught this. You're anti-gay. No, the parents were anti-talking about sex to their kids as kindergartners, first graders, and second graders.
See the disgust on Vic's face over here? The disgust on Vic's face.
I just want truth all the time. All truth needs to be brought.
Yeah.
All opinions heard, but then let the truth literally set you free because the truth will always be easy to see.
And
it will be.
To respond to John, again, your diatribe over here about how I don't understand how the city works.
I thought we moved on.
Well, no, I think he's talking about this whole lump of garbage that we're talking about today.
I think Eric's computer is slower than ours.
Yeah, it is slower. But, John, I'm getting to the point where I don't care.
John has said in reference to this, he just posted, those are ridiculous questions to be asking anybody. So he's on board with.
He's on board. But you're right. I don't understand the process, and I don't understand how we got here. And there comes a point where a human being just does not give a damn anymore. They're like, you know what? I can't out-talk you. I can't out-debate you. You win. What's my solution? And I think that the solution for a lot of parents, put a school together that just teaches the basics. Get them to a point where they can succeed in life. Get them to a point where they don't have to hear about sexuality and let their parents take care of that. And let the kids take care of the LGBTQ because they talk when they leave school. They talk about this stuff. And if a kid has a massive, massive problem, he's like, I'm conflicted. There's a counselor's office that maybe we can developed it takes care of that problem as well, because kids need to talk to somebody. And we do need counseling to these kids these days. Absolutely. But you should not talk politics. I should not know what your family thinks, and you should not know what my family thinks. That's a private thing that happens in a voting booth, period.
But it's not a private thing anymore, as people post their signs out in
That's
their
their
front
problem.
yard about
Yeah.
who
Well,
they're voting for.
Yeah, unless
So
unless
that's-
you're,
their
unless
right,
you're
too.
putting it out there.
That's their right, too. I'll never tell you who I vote
But
for.
if you
It's none of
don't
your
want to
business.
put that out there, it shouldn't be brought up by you, by your school teachers, your principals when you're in middle school.
Yeah, it's one thing to tell
I just
someone.
remember making the poster board,
That's
right,
wrong.
where you were supposed to do that.
Maybe it wasn't so wrong back then. I don't know.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. I don't think we're so. You're right. You're wrong back then as we are now. Now
Times have
is
changed.
very polarizing. Who you vote for is a very polarizing situation. Whereas I don't think it was when I was a kid. Like who you voted for,
Yeah.
maybe you voted for them because of this, that, or whatever the
Yeah,
reason
because
was.
so many issues are now serious, and so many things. When you start to vote on who is in office, it's because of how things happen. Eric says, "Look at everybody. You vote. If you voted for Biden, this is Eric." Eric's like, "You like paying more for gas. You like paying more for groceries. You like feeling unsafe. You like watching images in the war." Because Eric said that. Look, that's why it matters now, because your life is changed by who you vote for.
I always thought like this, homeschooling, right? They always say homeschooling is the best education that a kid can get. What
Who's
if
they?
Probably the homeschoolers.
No, I mean the scuttlebutt.
Well, I think that all depends
I'm like-
because if I'm not a great teacher, if I'm the mom and I'm
Bingo.
not a great teacher, then it's not the best
Bingo.
you can get. Also, it is they. We're using that term "they" again out there. The loose they also tend to say homeschoolers are a little weird when they get introduced into society. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You can always tell which member of your friends was homeschooled because they're like socially slightly inept, not totally inept, but just
And
enough.
and Angela doesn't mean everybody. That
Right.
can be for some, but
It's just like the they say this.
But-
They say it's the best education, but they also say
because I do know a lot of homeschool families, and I've spoken at some of the events. And Eric, I'll give you this: it blows my mind at how super intelligent most of these kids are.
Yeah.
That can't be denied. I'm blown away
Yeah.
by some of the things that I've seen.
1998. I'll never forget the year. There was a kid. She was 12 years old. She was being homeschooled, and there was this stuff wasn't even a thing back then. They just homeschooled because they loved their kid and they did it to them. She, at 12 years old, knew things that a first-year college student knew because they worked so fast through these curriculums, and she got bored.
I mean, has a good parent to teach her, but not everybody's got that parent that one has the time to do it or two can do it in a way to teach their child. You have to be set in the right family dynamic to make homeschooling work.
I understand. I just think that what we have talked about today with the CRT, I don't want my kid. Well, my kid's gone out of high school, but if I was a parent of that age, I would be like, I really don't want you reading racist books. I really don't want you to know what a sexual position is yet. I don't want you to know I don't want you to be exposed to this garbage. Don't they teach you anything about, equilateral triangles anymore? What's the Pythagorean theorem?
Please
What
say
is-
isosceles.
Yeah. What is the, can you explain, Greek literature? And if they say no, you're in trouble because that is the fundamental of teaching a kid how to think properly.
Well, Eric Schmidt's office, the Attorney General's office, had a quote to finish out that story. So the Attorney General's office of Missouri is investigating what's happening at Webster. They said, quote, "We appreciate SLF, Southeast Legal Foundation, for bringing their concerns to the office, and we have also received similar allegations in districts across the state. We've been working diligently to empower parents to return transparency to Missouri schools, and we are currently closely reviewing the information contained in that letter and information in other districts, and we will take action whenever possible."
Yeah. I feel like this is coordinated, like this is meant to divide us. I feel divided from Angela because she looks disgusted with what I say, and I can't figure out anything that she says or she supports. And I'm I'm trying I'm always trying to don't do that to me. I'm always trying to learn from Angela because she, like she said this morning, she's a liberal or she leans left.
I didn't say
She
I leaned
leans
left.
She never
I said
said she leans
I
left.
didn't say that. I said I am not as right as you
Right.
and Christopher
And
are.
to me, I don't feel right or left. I just feel
you guys
commonsensical. I feel
are pretty. Eric, you're
common sense, right?
No, Eric, you're very, very right.
I disagree with you. See, I think you're liberal.
But
then.
isn't that what you're supposed to be? You're always supposed to be right.
I feel that you're liberal.
Good job on the semantics.
I feel that from an education standpoint, you're a liberal, right? That's easy to say.
I would say from the education standpoint, I give more leeway to making sure children of all whatever feel comfortable in their skin, whatever their skin may be.
When you see parents getting pissed off at a board meeting,
Mhm.
you side with the school board more than you side with the parents.
Depends on what it's about, because I still don't. There's a lot of masking is back in a lot of, I know in the middle school at Webster, I know in the elementary schools in Kirkwood, masking's back on that. And I feel like masking, it's your kind of your kid, your choice, right? So like if the parent wants the kid to wear a mask, wear the mask. If the parent doesn't care, don't wear the mask. So it really depends on what the issue is that the parents are getting mad at. Do I ever think we should ban books? Not a whole lot. Should we limit what books certain children get to read? Absolutely. But banning books as a whole, no. It depends.
What if the curriculum was read the 1619 Project, which is completely not an anthropological, I can't even say the word. It's not based in true history. It's basically opinionated history is what I call it. Why can't we just read from textbooks that are agreed upon how this country was started? Something like that. The 1619
Because I don't think
Project.
anybody technically really agrees on how this country was started. Oh, there are some facts you can find.
Really?
There are some facts you can find, but I think if you talk to
it was well documented.
Various people in their different backgrounds, they're not going to necessarily agree that that is the truth. Kind of like reality is what you see. Like it's
Whether
what you,
it's truthful
right,
or not.
It's what you
But
believe to be true.
Eric
I feel
Johnson,
like we've been
Chris
documented
Knight.
pretty well from the last 250 years.
Angela Sharp, I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. We got to get to break. We'll come right back right after this. It is The Edge.
Grab your coffee. The Morning Edge will be right back on 100.7 The Viper.
Keep your resolution to quit cigarettes this time. Go to I Quit Vapor, 852 Bryan Road, O'Fallon. I Quit Vapor carries the salt nicotine systems, their latest juice flavors, and all of their pod systems. Let their staff explain why the salt nicotine system is so effective in helping you to quit cigarettes for good. It has a much smoother delivery and allows you to adjust the amount of nicotine intake. I Quit Vapor is still your one-stop shop for everything vapor. Keep your quit cigarette resolution this time. Go to I Quit Vapor, 852 Bryan Road, O'Fallon.
So you're not gonna want to miss this. The deals at Kohl's right now are beyond epic. I just got some new bath towels for $3 each. Found the cutest kids' outfits for only $5. And got myself some tees and tank tops for just $7. But the best part? You don't need any coupons. Can earn Kohl's cash and get it all with free store pickup. Looks like April showers bring the flowers and the savings. Select styles. Sale ends April 24th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Whoa, Greg's up.
He's never up this early.
Hey, guys. Okay, so this is called the Bell Breakfast Box from Taco Bell. Oh, thanks. I can read.
And that's a coffee. Helps you open your eyes.
And that's a breakfast burrito. You can start from either end.
You guys always this condescending in the morning?
Pretty much.
Wake up with the new $5 Bell Breakfast Box, filled with a grande toasted breakfast burrito, hash brown, 2 Cinnabon Delights, and a coffee. At limited participating Taco Bell locations near you during breakfast hours only. Contact local store for prices, hours, and participation, which vary. Tax extra. Drinks excludes freezes.
This is a metaphor for your business's journey. Sometimes it feels like you're going 100 miles an hour, barely keeping up. But to cruise through challenges, you need someone who's right there with you. That's what Dell Technologies advisors do. They have the Windows PCs and tech advice you need to get past whatever's in front of you and get where you want to go. Call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL. A start to a simpler experience with Windows 11 Pro.
Compass Health Network Express Care offices in Newtown, St. Peters, and Wentzville are ready to serve you today. Compass Health accepts Medicaid, self-pay, private insurance, and offers a sliding fee scale. Don't wait another day to feel better. Call 844-853-8937 for an appointment or visit compasshealthnetwork.org for a location nearest you. Compass Health Network Express Care. Feel better today.
Hey, you! Ever wanted to learn a language like French or Spanish or even Norwegian, but thought it'd be too difficult or time-consuming? Then try Babbel. Quick 10-minute lessons.
Siesta.
Bambola. Games, podcasts, even live online classes with a real teacher.
Hola, clase.
In no time, chatting about real-life topics will feel, well, effortless. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com.
You could save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, but when we just come out and say it, it feels like it falls a bit flat. So we're going to tap into human emotion. First with some music. Then in a serious tone, I'll say, save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. And even though it was about saving money with Progressive, we'll fade out the music so you know it was poignant. Wow, powerful stuff. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discount not available in all states or situations.
Kelley Blue Book is the one-stop shop for pricing, fixing, selling, and instant cash offering. Instant Cash Offer is exactly what it sounds like. An official offer to buy or trade your car. Woo-hoo! Just enter your VIN or license plate, answer a few questions about your car's history, and what kind of condition it's in. In minutes, you'll receive an offer to sell or trade your car that you can be sure is fair. Then choose a dealer to purchase your car and schedule a time to meet. For all of the its, KBB.com.
Now, back to the Edge Morning Show.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Tomorrow we'll give away a free dinner at Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah, Mother's Day coming up.
Yeah, might be
This
something.
Sunday.
Okay, should we do it as a joke day? Should we do it as a trivia question? We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out tomorrow.
Hey, thanks for joining us. And what a great show, Eric. Did you cover all your notes that you wrote down?
Let's see here. COVID, Webster, Rovers. Yeah, I got it.
Eric Johnson, Chris
rolling
Knight, Angela Sharp. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. Have an awesome day, guys. We'll see
I don't
you
mean
for
to
Fox
piss
2
everybody
at 5
off.
at night. You're not.
I don't want you guys pissing me off either. See how that
My
works?
goodness.
See how that works? Okay. Green tie. I think green tie works.
Green tie tonight?
Sure, I'll wear a green tie.
Love it.
Damn, that was easy.
You got it. Green tie it is.
Have a great day. We'll talk to everybody tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock.